Hey guys, Zach Man from Dynamic Strength, and today I'm going to show you guys how I construct a warm-up for a beginner, an athlete, or just how I construct my DSF warm-ups for the fellas that come in and what I think is best for them. So that's what we're going to be going over today, and this is Inside the Rack. Number 5. Marker. Okay, so first thing we're going to go over is programming a warm-up for a beginner lifter. We're not going to really go into the sport-specific realm as of right now on programming for a beginner client. We're just going to go over kind of the NASM way of programming for a client. Now, there's certain things that I don't care too much for the NASM way of stretching and warming up a client, but I think that the first phase and the way they tell you to warm up your first phase client is a very beneficial way. So whenever I have a guy come in, I'll automatically start him on the foam roller or SMR or self-manufactured release. So basically we SMR first. DOD means depends on the day. And then if you have a body day, if you're doing a chest back or chest bicep or chest tricep day or back, whatever, any upper body day, you start foam rolling for 10 minutes. I put them under a 10-minute cycle, 10 minutes, and then basically since you've already taken them through the necessary assessments, you're gonna figure out which ones you need to foam roll the most. So if you have a tight pec, you're gonna foam roll tight pec, you're gonna foam roll your pec, you're gonna do all that stuff to cater to the tightness or just to open up and relieve yourself. So basically foam roll upper body for 10 minutes and then concentrate on pain. So and then we're just going to move on from there. So basically, it's the same deal for the lower body, okay? So you're basically foam rolling 10 minutes each day. I like to train 4 days, or I like to have someone train for 4 days, or even 5 or 3, and basically for the 4-day ones, all you're going to be doing is foam rolling for 10 minutes. You automatically come in, you foam roll for 10 minutes, and then you move on to the next set or the next type of warm-up that I'll prescribe. And that's what we're going to go over right now. So that's basically what you're going to do for the 4 days. So 4 days depends upon the day. So you have upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, you foam roll upper body, you foam roll lower body, you foam roll upper body, lower body, all that good stuff. Once you're done with that, for a beginner, you just go into static stretching. So basically just trying to open up, you know, pathways and open up. Once you're done with this, second, you go static stretch. And then that could be DOD too. Even though I like to do the full body static stretch, it'll still be DOD. And basically what this will help do is increase range of motion, and then there's a lot of other things that will help do. It will open up elasticity, all that good stuff. It will allow for proper synapses and autogenic inhibition. So that's basically what you want to do in reciprocal inhibition as well. So you static stretch whatever muscle group that you're going to be doing. I like to do the full body, and then just go into cardiovascular work or a light jog, a light warm up to get yourself warm, to get really warm. So second would be, or third, my bad. Third would be jump ropes. I like to do it within 5 to 10 minutes. This will be 5 to 8 minutes. This shouldn't take that much. It should more or less lean to the 5-minute range. It shouldn't be 8 minutes, but sometimes it takes that long because if you're super tight, normally I'll just have someone do 1 set of everything, but it's best to do 2 sets. And then we'll move into this. We're gonna do jump ropes, we're gonna do Stairmaster, stairs. You could do a variety of things that will allow for proper warming up to occur. And that's basically what I like to do with beginners. Now what I do with myself and a lot of my other guys who are lifting for a specific goal is I will write my DSF warm-up, which is a lot, and it's a lot to break down. So I'm gonna break it down really quickly, and it's not gonna be, I'm not gonna go into the scientific terminology of it all. I'm just gonna kind of break it down easy and simply. So basically first, starting off with a general warm-up. First, SMR. Same deal. I'm always going to SMR. I'm going to DOD, and then 10 minutes of whatever it is that you're doing. Second, I'm going to move on to the dynamic. I like to incorporate more dynamic flexibility warm-ups or dynamic warm-ups over corrective flexibility or active flexibility or active isolated flexibility. I believe that those are great too, but if I'm going to start increasing my way towards the workout itself, I'm going to basically I would do active isolated stretching, but I would incorporate dynamic movements within it. So basically what I would do is I would do active isolation stretches. So I do all the slowly methodical movements. So we'll put active ISO stretches just to put it in. Work about 5 to 10 minutes on that. Leaning towards the 5 minutes, and then we're going to move to the outside. We'll go outside to the hallway, and that's where we'll do the dynamic actual warm up. Excuse me. We won't do that. We're going to do floor neurological warm up. And this focuses mainly, the focus for this will be core. Focus will be core or trunk engagement. So exercises that I'll do for this would be DNS get up, one set of 6 and 6. Now I'm going to take a video of all these warm-ups that I'll be doing. So basically, DNS get up, spread eagle. Oh shit! Always fucking spread eagle. One set of 8 and 8. Reverse or rev spread eagle. One set of 8 and 8. Cat cow. One set of cat cow. One set of 12, and then bird dog. One set of 12. Let me see if this shit is facing me, hopefully. Let's see if it's good. Hopefully you guys can see it all. Sorry about the crookedness of the shit. I'm not that great at writing on the whiteboard, but whatever. So I'll have that basically done. I'll have all this done inside the gym, and then we'll move outside the gym. And then that's when we start to get to the sport-specific warm-up, or the warm-ups that will cater to the movement itself. So you have all this stuff done. Sorry, I don't have a fucking eraser, and I should probably fucking buy one, but whatever. So once we have all that done, we move to the sport-specific warm-up. So like, let's say I'm working on bench. I'm doing a max effort, or I'm doing a pressing motion. Let's say I'm a power lifter and I'm warming up for the bench. I'm going to work everything outside. So I like to do dynamic warm-ups or sport-specific warm-ups for the whole body, because I need my body to be warm, because I'm not going to go in after the warm-up and start a 5-minute jog on the elliptical. I'm not going to do that. That's not how I would work that. If my muscles are warm and they're actively firing and they're ready to be fired because you've already engaged them into a movement that will cater to the movement that you're about to do or the lift you're about to do. I'm not gonna go into the fucking elliptical and do the fucking elliptical. Like, I'm sorry, that's not gonna do what I'm gonna do unless I'm fucking jogging, unless I'm doing high intensity workouts of the day, unless I'm doing like a 5-second sprint to increase shuttle time and ATP, PC systeming and all that stuff. I'll do that. But since let's say we're working on bench or a full body day, we'll go full body because this will cater more to full body than a bench. We'll go full body, so it's still DOD, but I like to do DOD if I have that 4-day split. So like, let's say we cut out the full body, we'll do upper body. Or we'll do lower body because lower body is a little bit more intrinsic. So basically lower body is, we will do lunge. Actually, we'll start off with just the regular body weight squat routine, and we'll pair it with or add band adduction, okay, whatever, band abduction. So basically you're doing the squat, but you're pushing your knees out, so you're abducting the band. And then we'll do 1 to 2 sets of 8. And then you're gonna see a pattern of it being 1 to 2 sets of everything. So it's depending upon how the athlete feels. The athlete is going to be sweating, and the athlete is gonna feel this warm up just even before he feels the actual workout. You know, you want them to feel the warm up just as much as they feel the workout. So basically, once you finish that, you move on. We'll do lunges with RDL or single leg RDL to T-spread. Still 1 to 2 sets of 6 and 6, and then we'll go to lateral shuffle. Slowly though, so it's more of a walk on the lateral shuffle because you want to open up your hips. So you can still cater it, you can still consider the body weight squat with the band abduction as the same thing as lateral shuffle. You can even put a band there to increase more abduction in the hips and more targeting of the hips. But if you're just trying to do body weight, we just do lateral shuffle, and it'll be 1 to 2 sets of 10 and 10 because you should be able to move down and back pretty easily. And then after that, we got butt kicks, walking, butt kicks. 1 to 2 sets of 10 steps down, 10 steps back, and then after that, we're just gonna do toe touches, walking toe touches, excuse me. Toe touches. So your toe is going to be dorsiflexed towards the sky, and you're going to reach down and touch with your opposite hand. What that's going to do is it's going to open up your calf. It's going to stretch out your hamstrings as well, but you're going to be able to stretch out that anterior tibialis and basically flex it up. And then after you've touched, or toe touches, and then after you've touched, you're going to increase by doing a touch and then flexion of the calf muscle to activate calf muscle. So calf raise. And then you can do the same thing, 1 to 2 on 10 to 10. And it'd be 10 each leg, so you could do it like that. So that would be the lower body day. That wouldn't be anything too crazy. And then this is all catering to the movement that you're gonna be doing. Once you've done this, you'll be going into your max effort or your compound lift, not your max effort, your compound lift, and then it will cater to that. So you could obviously do your warm-up sets for that as well. So you've done all that, and then you do your actual warm-up sets, and then you do your working sets for that lift. So that would be what I would do for my guys if they have like a lower body day. I'd open them up, I'd concentrate on warming up for about 30 to 35 minutes. or 20 to 35 minutes, more or less. So then we've gone over the lower body day. We've gone over the floor warm-ups. I'm going to show the floor warm-ups because a lot of people haven't really seen that before. That engages core musculature very well, and that's what you want to do. You want to engage this a lot. So now we're going to go over that. We've gone over the whole general warm-up. We've gone over everything, the SMR, all that stuff for the DSF warm-up, and now we're going to go over the upper body day. So we've cut everything out, and now we're going to do sports specific, which is what we did before. Sports specific upper body warm-up. Now I know a lot of people state that sports specificity isn't a real thing, and I've even stated that too, but I was fucking wrong. And there is things or movements that cater to sports specific movements. So if I'm doing there's multiple movements that I can do that will cater to sports specificity, and there are studies showing that can totally be false. Like, there is no such thing as sports specificity, but I like to say that this is sports specific or training specific. So basically you could look at sports specific as training specific or train specific. So basically we'll get right into it. I'm not gonna try and fucking, go off on this bullshit. We're just gonna get right into it. So what I like to have my guys do is either push up, just regular push-up body weight, or on your knees. Once they've gotten to this type of warming up, they should be able to do a push-up regardless, on their knees or on their feet. They should be able to do it on their feet once they've already hit this type of warm-up. So you're doing it on your feet, and then you're gonna pair it with a pike to engage more core flexion, to engage more increased stress whenever it comes to that warm-up. So you do that right there. 1 to 2 sets of 8. Then you're gonna do after that. This is all, you could look at this all as a vertical loading scheme. So you do your push-ups, you move on, you move on, you move on, you move on, you go back. It's kind of like a circuit, but you're basically just gonna do this all. You gotta take your time when you do everything, focus on the lift or focus on the movement itself. So once you've done that, you go into, you're on a pull-up bar, you'll be doing a lat. I like to call it lat hangs. Lat hangs with depression or scap depression. So right there, 1 to 2 sets of 10, or you could count it for time, and you'll do 20 seconds, and you can increase it every single day or every single time you do an upper body warm up. And then once you're done with that, you're going to go from there. You'll move more into the actual movements that you'll be doing for the day. So if I'm doing a bench press and I'm catering all my accessory lifts to that bench press, I'll be doing more back activation, more chest. Obviously I'll be doing the whole upper body, but I will be focusing a lot more on back. So we can even do inverted scap row or scap retraction. I'll call it scap retraction. A set of 10. 1 to 2 sets of 10, excuse me. And then after that, you're just going to go into the arm circles. I like to do arm circles, warm up the rotator work, arm circles, up and down. 1 to 2 sets of 15 up, 15 down. And then arm scissors. And then that's the same thing, horizontal, so it'd be up, and then horizontal. And then you do 1 to 2 sets of up, 15, 15, horizontal. And then after that, you cut that, and then you got rotator work. And a lot of people neglect the rotator cuff because they don't really understand they don't really understand what it's about and all the muscles that incorporate it and how it works with the body. Now, whenever you do this lat hang with scap depression, you're basically, I think I could do it right here. Right here. You're holding this, you're hanging, and right here, the press. Basically just bringing that downward rotation of the scaps down. You do about 15 or 10, 20 seconds. It's really gonna open up that lat. You're gonna stretch out your lats for that overhead press. So if you're doing an overhead press, doing a lat hang can be totally beneficial. Just more, it really engages your shoulders and opens up your serratus anterior, all the stuff that will allow for proper mobility of your shoulders and all that good shit. So a lot of people will neglect rotator work because they don't really understand it. So we go over multiple different movements whenever it comes to rotator. There could be days or weeks where we change it up and we'll do a different type of movement. So the main movements that we like to do is serving tray, which serving tray is, it looks like this. All you do, let's say these are dumbbells or plates, put your elbows tight to the body. If you want, get a piece of pad like a lot of trainers like to do to tell their client to keep that elbow tight to the body. And just right here, and just open, 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 and then we'll go into horizontal external rotation, and then internal rotation, opening it up. But the main one that I like to do with a lot of my clients is basically getting a band and doing jobs, or doing getting a 5-pound plate and doing jobs. And so what jobs look like, let's say this is a plate. You start off here, raise, raise, raise. You flip your hand, raise, raise, raise. And then you go all the way up, and then all the way around. Concentrating on the movement itself. Now that's going to open up, that's going to work all your rotator muscles, and it's going to also work your delts, it's going to work your shoulders in general, but it's going to open up everything, and it's going to allow for proper engagement of your rotator work and your stabilization muscles. So that was more or less what I do for my guys who come in. I will do this warm up with them. I will walk them through it. I like to do a lot. I like to focus solely on this a lot more. The other thing that I'll focus on a lot more is the SMR or the foam rolling, because you really need to get in there and really get that recovery process happening. And then basically after or post workout, they'll be doing SMR and they'll be doing static stretching and they'll be cooling down. The music will be turned down. A lot of shit will be turned down to allow for proper recovery, because we don't want to have a stressful environment once the workout's done. So after the compound movement and after some of the higher intensity accessory movements, you know, we want to keep the stress, we want to start lowering it down so that they have more fun and they aren't as stressed out during the accessory movements as to when they're doing the compound fucking balls to the wall max effort lifts or something like that. So well, I know I stuttered a lot, I'm a little bit tired, I haven't had my coffee today, so sorry about that. I hope this was helpful. If you guys want me to go over anything else, if you guys think I should be better, just let me know. I'm new to this whole deal, so help support DSF's future movement and the movement itself right now. It's just me right now, honestly, so help support it by buying one of these hats or coming in contact with me on ZachManDSF on Instagram, or Zach_ManDSF at Instagram, and then go follow us on Twitter, which is DSF all caps and then facility, or DS facility, and then go check out the website, dynamicstrength.org. If you want to buy any cool, sweet t-shirts like this, go on to shop.spreadshirt.com/DSF, all caps on the DSF, and then apparel, lowercase apparel, all that's together. And then come in contact with me for the hats, because I haven't found like a good website and a good company to help distribute the hats. The newer model for this won't have this little block right here, but there will be snapbacks on the third design that will be coming out. There will only be 3 designs as of right now. I kind of want to see where it all goes. I want to see if anyone's even going to try and attempt to buy them. So the hats will be sold between, this hat will be around $15 to $18. The basic beginner hat or generic hat will be $10 to $12, and then the snapback with the logo and a barbell under it will be $18 as well. So I hope this was helpful. This is inside the rack number 5, the DSF warm up or warming up, or I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna title it, but man, I'll make a cool title. Hope you guys like it. I know it's kind of all over the place, so if it was, let me know and I'll try to redo it. But I'm not gonna make cuts and shit, I'm not an asshole. So hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you guys around.